we need to talk about this new guys debate, bro. There's a new guys debate, just like the last one with the gorilla versus the grizzly. You know, people are going at it again, and I'm still on the opposing side here. I do not think a gorilla is winning against a grizzly, and I do not think a gorilla is winning against 100 men. Like, first off, gorillas don't have the same aggression as a grizzly. The grizzly bear would dominate that fight, plus the grizzly also has weapons. It's just as strong, if not stronger in some aspects, right? And it has crazy sharp knives for feet. You know what I mean? The gorilla ain't winning that, bro. It has the aggression of a freaking hippopotamus. And if you know anything about hippos, they don't fuck around. They're angry all the time. That's a grizzly bear. It's just furry. It's a furry hippo with a smaller mouth. Anyway, the point I'm making is, with against 100 men, it's losing the same way, right? And I think you gotta be an empty-headed clown to really believe that otherwise. I think that when people say men, they're talking about these types of sweaty, neck-bearded looking fools. You know, they're talking about like Jack Doherty built clowns, like the cowards that run behind people, they cause problems and then they go hide behind people. Or they're talking about these types of weirdos like Mr. Weirdo Reviews over here, who beats off the cartoons like all day. Like, these types of cringy, creepy people, you just ship them to the front lines and you solve that, you solve that issue. If they were in the room in the challenge, you ship them to the front lines, you get them to be the distraction, okay? And once the gorilla gets tired and it uses up like about 30%, I wouldn't even say 30, like 10 or 20% of its energy dismembering those clowns, then you send the real men in to fucking dominate it, bro. Because the reality is, real men, dudes who actually work with their hands, right? Real men who work out and stay fit, stay in shape. They can run up some steps without feeling like their lungs are about to explode. You know, they can actually do some push-ups. Real men are gonna piece that gorilla up, bro. Because here's the thing, they're not gonna be the cowards that we see over here, man. They're not gonna be these types of cowardly people, right? These aren't real men, bro. Right, these are like, those are actual rejects. They're societal rejects, okay? Real men who are not scared to get some dirt in their eye, and who are not scared to lay down their lives in a serious situation, a life or death situation, they would absolutely dominate Harambe, bro. Harambe would get fucked. Okay, Harambe was actually kind of cool, my bad, I shouldn't have said that, right? They would absolutely dominate a wild silverback, you know? And it just is what it is now. And the thing is too, I see a bunch of disingenuous people using this image and saying, oh, this is proof, just look at this. First off, this is obviously AI. I don't know how people are falling for this shit. This is obviously AI, right? And then secondly, real silverbacks are only 6 foot tall. They're only 6 foot tall when they're standing upright, and they're 5 foot when they're down on all fours. This dude is 6'3", standing next to it, right? So I'm not talking about like the room gotta be filled. I'm not saying the room gotta be filled with a bunch of boykers, you know, like Scott Adkins built humans. Nah, I'm talking about just real men, right? If the room is filled with those dudes, or even let's say 80 of them, and then we got 20 of these losers, right? I think the men are still gonna dominate, because a gorilla gets tired after a few minutes of fighting. That's just the reality. And then once that happens, they're gonna just get swarmed like this. Y'all ever see this video? He's just gonna get swarmed. Bro is gonna get the worst jumping of his life, you know, and it just is what it is. They're gonna gouge its eyes out. They're gonna stuff their hands down its throat to make it choke to death. You know, they're gonna do whatever it takes, you know, to make sure this thing stops breathing. Especially if it means that's the only way out. The only way out of this room is to literally end the life of this this gorilla, this silverback. I think that with something like a challenge like that, then it just is what it is. I really do think guys would win. So if you'll agree with my based as fuck take, go ahead and like and subscribe if you're not one of these dum-dums, right? And if you disagree, let me know why in the comments below. I'm probably gonna make fun of you. And yeah, besides that, I want everybody else to have a good rest of your day. Later.